I do from Friday the 4th of October to Monday, through Monday the 7th of October of 2024. Well, on Friday morning the 4th, I was still in Washington, D.C. I got an early Uber over to the Reagan Airport and flew back to Orlando, Florida, to my office. At the terminal, on the plane, in the car, dealing with different emails and work on my computer and phone calls dealing with the following topics. Advertising, an opportunity we're giving to pro-life groups to advertise with Priests for Life. You'll see on our broadcast we'll be promoting some of the things that these other groups are doing. That was one thing. Parish weekends, having the priests who serve our team available to speak in parishes. We're promoting that all the time. Flight plans for upcoming trips. Work against the abortion ballot measures in the different states. Making plans to interview Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. She served in the Congress in the past and is a good friend. Follow up from the National Pro-Life Religious Council Board meeting, approving appeal letters, communication with pro-lifers in Australia who are planning a March for Life. Getting launched a 30-day prayer devotional for the election. Make sure you're tuned in to that. Texting. Those who want to sign up to receive text from us, we're getting that going. Approved 2 parish faxes. We fax things to the parishes around the country. The Ohio March for Life, that was going on that day, and we communicated about that. And various opinion pieces written by our pastoral team promoting those. Janet Morana, our executive director, and others included in that. So I landed 10:23 a.m. on Friday the 4th, came right back to my office. And you know, when you come back from the office after a busy trip, it's just like the energy is so high because there's so many things just waiting right there on the desks, things to unpack and follow up on from the trip. So I went into a period of a couple of hours of work of just doing stuff like that, reconnecting with staff who were at the office and getting ready for different projects and activities. Various meetings, etc. Then had a quick lunch and then had a meeting with our social media coordinator at 2:45. Another meeting at 4 p.m. with our executive director and also vice chairman, making important plans moving forward. More work at my desk, getting end-of-day updates from staff, and then 6 p.m. a call from our administrator, Mark, our member of our administrative team. Usually I take my end-of-day half-hour walk while I'm engaging in that phone call, and that always works out well. Back to my desk, more work at the desk, some of the topics I mentioned to you already. And then at 8 p.m., I had the pleasure of speaking and praying on a special prayer call involving national and international pro-life and faith leaders. So I was privileged to be part of that call, shared my thoughts, answered questions for them about our pro-life work. Not all of them were familiar with the work that we do, but I answered calls about that, answered questions about that on that call, and that brought the day to a close. Very, very nice experience, very affirming. Saturday the 5th, so I was here at my office. Some of the things I dealt with starting early in the morning on my computer had to do with follow-up from the forum, the leadership meeting of pro-life leaders, sponsorship for the National Prayer Service coming up in January on the day of the March for Life. Plan to come to that prayer service, and your group can co-sponsor it as well. And also approval for appeal letters going out from Priests for Life. Now at 10 o'clock, I was right here sitting where I am now doing the live scripture broadcast that many of you watch. Back to my desk, hammering out plans and still working on the October plan, by the way. Sometimes it bleeds into the beginning of the month, but the detailed planning for the rest of that month, I still had to do more work on that, some writing and so forth. And then I had to leave at about 2:30 p.m., get in my car for an evening speaking engagement. Now, this was over in Sebring, Florida, so it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes of driving. I don't mind doing that as long as I can get some work done while doing so. And of course, that work comes in the form of phone calls through the hands-free feature on the car connected with my cell phone. So I set off at 2:30, and at 2:30 I had a call with our administrative person, Mark, That was a half-hour call. At 3 o'clock, connected with a longtime pro-life activist who wanted to get some input from me for a interview she was doing on a major Catholic program about pro-life. So I gave her some perspectives and information to help her do her interview. That went from 3 to 3:30. At 3:30, connected on the phone with Bishop Aubrey Shines, a well-known faith leader and broadcaster and collaborator of ours. And then at 4 o'clock, got on the phone with Troy Newman of Operation Rescue, and we had a great conversation with an ex-abortionist who wants to help expose the abortion industry. So I had a fascinating half-hour call with him. By the time those 4 calls were finished, I was at my destination. And I got out, took materials out from my car, Priests for Life materials, set them up on a table. And this was the Heartland Faith Voters. It was a beautiful gathering that night. Senator Erin Grahl, one of our key pro-life senators in the Florida legislature, and a longtime friend, she and her family have been longtime friends of Priests for Life. She was one of the other speakers, together with a couple of others. And I spoke about the pro-abortion amendments, not just Amendment 4 in Florida, about which Senator Grahl also spoke, but about the amendments in the 9 other states, which, as you know, we've been educating people about. Great, great event, prayer, speeches, talks. I recorded my talk. It's out there on my social media. And then we, at the conclusion of it, we had a late dinner. We ate European style, 9 p.m., after 9 p.m., but we was over at a nearby ministry center and sat down there with Senator Grahl and her family and some of the other speakers, and we had a great dinner. And then I had to do the 2-hour and 15-minute drive back to Titusville. So it was kind of late at night. However, I was wide awake. Why? Because that very same day, President Trump had his return rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, which was the site of the first assassination attempt back in July. Boy, was I fired up listening to that talk. And that was perfectly timed because I started listening to the talk when I left, and by the time the talk finished, I was back at home. So really, really great time listening to that. Then that brings us into Sunday the 6th. Sunday, of course, always time for worship and extra time of prayer. Did my live prayer broadcast at 10 a.m., but only after I had to get some work done at my desk. Now, our staff person who handles our travel invitations works at various odd hours. So he had a work session on Sunday morning. So I connected with him via Zoom, and we had a meeting looking at my different trips and invitations, and he plans the details in coordination with the people who invite me. So I had connected with him, and then I had to work on a number of topics here: sponsorship, again, of our National Prayer Service, recruiting sponsors, approving appeal letters, following up on press releases, and also looking at the 2025 calendar of pro-life events. We keep on top of all the pro-life events happening nationally. Some of them we collaborate with, some of them we promote. Did all that, 10 a.m., right here at this desk. I did the live scripture broadcast, prayer and reflection and teaching and preaching. So did that at 10. Back to my desk with some more work of various kinds like I was mentioning. Back here in the studio at about 1:30 and got ready for a live segment on Newsmax, did that Newsmax commentary, and then right after that, when that finished at 2 o'clock, went up the street to one of the nice restaurants here that I like to go to, had a good lunch, listening to some political podcasts, and then came back, and then the rest of the day was just quietly in my office, catching up on things I needed to do, preparing for the work of the week ahead. Then came Monday, the 7th of October, and it started off with a nice early radio interview with our friend Jenna Ellis, American Family Association Radio. She's got a program on there. She has me on regularly. That was an 8 a.m. interview for about a half hour. Prior to that, I'd done a little bit of work at my desk, but then after that call, continued such work. Met, first of all, with key staff people to get the day underway. Some of the topics I dealt with at my desk included the 30-day prayer guide to the elections. I hope you're subscribed to that. It's a subscription. Getting silent no more testimony so that we could put in a friend of the court brief in a Tennessee case in favor of our pro-life activists who are sitting in jail. Preparing an interview to be interviewed by a French reporter. Giving instructions to staff about some video editing. Approving a press release. Approving the first of our text messages. You can sign up for that as well. Sending out some information about the interviews I did with Coach Kennedy and some unique information we have about his abortion story. He's the coach who won the Supreme Court case a couple of years ago, right around the same time as the Dobbs decision, about praying in public, even though he was in a public school, coaching a public school. And then approving some appeal letters for Priests for Life. That went all very well. As that Monday continued, I had an important conference call with some of our administrative and fundraising team at 11 a.m. to talk about the launch of our Legal Victories for the Unborn initiative, legal offensives that we're taking to advance the protection of the unborn, and we're talking about the fundraising that we will do in conjunction with that. No sooner was that call done than I had lunch with a local political and pro-life activist here in Florida. We went out to lunch and we talked about some of the important work to be done to advance the pro-life cause in this, our state and beyond, and our collaboration. Got back from that lunch meeting, more work at my desk. At 2:30, had another conference call with some of our team and representatives of Patriot Mobile. And you're going to be hearing us promoting Patriot Mobile and urging you to sign up for it, but wait until we give you our promo code that you can use for that. And then the rest of Monday, continuing to work just here at my office, getting updates from staff and doing work at my desk right into and through the evening. And that's what I did from the 4th through the 7th of October, 2024. I hope your work is blessed. I hope you have joy in doing it, as I certainly do. Let's advance the cause of the unborn. Let's end abortion together, and let's do it soon. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.